Week 3 is done, and I, for one, am very happy about that because, oh boy, it was rough for pretty much everybody. I mean, except the Panthers, unless you're a Panthers fan, Sam. What a week it was for you. Maybe Bryce was the problem? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say necessarily that a quarterback who has played under 3 different head coaches in less than 2 full seasons is necessarily at fault, especially considering this is his first professional experience. But dear Lord, what a showing by Andy Dalton. And what a poor showing from everyone this week in Toto. I think, don't take this as gospel. It's not, I haven't double-checked this, but I think it's the worst week ever in terms of scoring if you remove the top 1% of scores, because, spoiler alert, someone did get a perfecto. But aside from that, I mean, we had like 4 people score 0. It'll get better, I promise you. And I mean, I know I've said that before, but yeah. A couple notes before we get into the results. Coin debt. A lot of you guys seem to be scared of it, and for good reason. I'll outline exactly how that works and why I'm in such deep shit. Basically, every week that you're in coin debt without getting back to 0 as your balance, you get penalized on 1 coin for the number of weeks you've been in coin debt plus last week's penalty. So it compounds. So your second week is worth 3. Your third week, you're penalized 6. It gets really harsh. But if you're in coin debt for some of the week, but I'm going to make this many coins back, that's okay. You're not going to get penalized. It's only at the end of the week. And then playoff format. What do y'all want? We can do, my plan is to have 20 people participate, because if it's as small as 16, I think some people will be playing for nothing by like week 10, and I don't want that to be the case. I want to keep it more competitive. So 20 players will make the playoffs. I'll structure it such that we might have a 2-week final, but what I wanted was like a group of 4. Anyway, just voice your opinion. Honestly, I want it to be up to you guys too. Now for what happened this week, and oh boy, I am sorry, Sam. You scored the second most points of anybody with over 1,400, but you just so happened to be playing the guy who got a perfecto, which was Dylan, a 5,700-point effort. 4th career perfecto for him. Congrats there. Also, I'm not clerical error. Colin didn't win. I'm not saying I'm glad that happened, but Krish won his free bet, so Colin didn't win a 0-0 game on a tiebreaker. I don't want to set the precedent that you can win with 0 points. I think that's a reasonable thing to be at least a little bit happy about as a game maker. The table now looks like this, and I think you can say the wheat is starting to separate from the chaff. 3 of y'all are 3-0. Alex, who is definitely the best rookie so far this year. Rowan, who didn't make the playoffs last year but seems to be riding the ship. And then Marshall, a familiar face in first place. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, they say, but that's only because he's looking down upon all of his subjects, including myself, in the basement/personal hell that is coin debt and playoff ineligibility. Dylan, of course, has a firm grip on 4th place and is oh so close to breaking through to that top cohort of players. With his perfecto, of course, he got reign over the power-up shop, and he did not bring back mulligans, or at least he didn't explicitly say that he wanted to do that, so he also didn't restock anything, but he brought Super Bet back. Or, well, okay, Dylan, I know that's not exactly what you requested, but I figured this was close enough to that it works, considering it's a power-up that has existed previously. Yeah, basically just doubles a bet. You have to play it on the bet beforehand, but it's really cheap, so you can do that, cheaply. And also, all the other quantities and costs, I think, are up to date. Maybe first time ever that's been true for one of these PowerPoints. I don't really bother to edit this slide that much, or as little as I can. Anyway, Dylan also decided that last week's challenge was too easy, which I actually agree with. So many of you got it. So now the challenge is to win a bet on an 0-3 team, which the Jaguars, the Titans, and I think the Bengals. I think that's it. You'll have to double check me on that. As for your matchup, find it right here for next week. I'm playing Jonathan, needing a win desperately. So, I mean, I should get it. No shade. Although I guess I can't say that without shade. That's it for Toto. So here is fantasy football. And okay, you'll notice the addition of the 2 numbers in the corners. That is a sort of surreptitious way for me to communicate what the median score this week was. So if your team beat the median, 115, obviously it's not 1.15, for Dynasty, and 111.5, which is pertinent because we had a 1-point game. Jake, I think that's Yak Attacks, just barely beat out Gabe, who now is 1-5. Interesting to see the reigning champion struggling to find his footing. But yeah, in redraft too, Caleb has been dog shit, also in Dynasty, but we all know about that. Other than that, yeah, I can't believe Connor scored 173 in redraft, which is a perfect segue into a segment that you guys have been clamoring for, which is my power rankings for both leagues. And again, Connor, chill the fuck out. I don't know what else to say. I mean, God, both of your teams are so good, and I, especially with Sam Darnold, I feel like that was a little bit of good fortune. But other than that, I mean, you put together, oh boy, that the move to draft Marvin Harrison, absolute masterstroke in Dynasty. It's proven very good so far through, well, I guess for 2 of the 3 weeks. I've got Jake in second place in Dynasty. James will feel miffed not to get third over Marshall, but he did get third in redraft too. So, oh boy, I just realized Connor and Jake are the 1-2 in both leagues. Guys, I thought we were sharing the wealth this year. I've got Sam as my worst team in redraft. Sorry, it's just, it could easily be Caleb, but which is hilarious because obviously Caleb's the worst Dynasty team. I feel like I'm just reading off the screen by now. But yeah, Caleb, as always, is on the bottom. I don't know how you could possibly misinterpret that sentence.